Hi, good evening. I'd like to welcome you to Poem Praise 2. I do thank you for tuning in, and peace and blessings be upon you and your family this evening. Now we are going to get right back into the Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman. We are now in chapter 17. This is take number 3, and it goes like this. The black woman has been tutored by the liberation-seeking white woman to execute her own individuality and throw off the shackles of husbandly bondage and practice self-freedom. While some of this may be true of the white woman's plight, it has no bearing on the black woman's situation, since she has not been under the black man's rule since prior to slavery. Slavery was such a desperate time for blacks due to the race-destructing tactics employed by the slave master. Not only was there unbearable physical pain and excruciating, demanding labor, but separation was promoted by offering singular and individual rewards gained by pleasing the slave master and being a good slave. A good slave was one who consented to do anything and did everything possible to stay alive. The individual reward system ripped apart the ties of couples, siblings, relatives, and friends. Independent self-preservation was the rule if one wanted to stay alive unhurt. This training was a fallacy because the real truth is that the greatest advancements are made through unity and agreement, not individuality. She is a beautiful butterfly encased in a cocoon of fear, doubt, and suspicion. She has been frightened and allowed her fears to govern her life and behavior. It will take a long time to get her back on the right path to successful black womanhood, and it is a journey she cannot make without the guidance of the black man. Black women seemingly have a bloodline connection when it comes to taking and following instructions. She is hard-headed and stubborn to have her own way. She thinks that if she obeys her man, that he will try to make a fool of her and take away her identity. She also fears what her family and friends will say if they find out she lets him tell her what to do. Therefore, she is disobedient. Obedient means one who is willing to follow instruction as a means of respect. Slave means a human being who is owned by another and dominated to the point of drudgery, D-R-U-D-G-E-R-Y, mistreatment, and pain. Fool means a silly person, capable of being tricked or deceived. Black women are not readily able to explain why they associate obedience with that of being a fool. Nor are they able to elaborate on why they compare being told what to do with slavery. Here again is the psychological result of slavery on the black woman. The slave master systematically and graphically devised steps to prove in front of the black woman that the black man had no control of his will. And he destroyed anything he tried to build or protect. The black man's stamina, faith, and perseverance in the face of multiple, impossible looking obstacles impressed her that he was a soft-headed man who repeatedly deceives himself by believing that he can do great things. It's a paradox to her. She doesn't know that every civilization has rules, mathematically. To add means to multiply and increase. To subtract means to divide and separate. One unites, the other disbands. To unite means to come together. It is impossible to have unity and separation at the same time. Yet the black woman will practice separation while living in the same house with the black man. She maintains her own separate ideas, separate money, separate personal goals, and separate authority. She does not want anyone telling her what to do. She thinks she is the most qualified to chart the course. If the black man lets her rule him, she does so with an iron fist. Daily insults, threats, ignoring his presence, telling him what to do every step of the way, abusive language, denial of sex and respect. He has to be home after work at exactly the same time every day. He has to clean the house, take care of his clothes, wash dishes, fix his own food, and maybe sleep in another room. Stay in every night and not spend any money without her permission. And throughout all of this, she requires that he act like he likes it. She calls this keeping him under control. His life becomes pure hell and totally against his nature, and she thinks this is the way to have a successful relationship with the black man. These are her peace requirements. On the other side, juxtaposing, I'm going to spell it for you, Juxtaposing, her position. She has some inner feelings that represent disdain for herself. She hates the black man for letting her treat him this way. She wants him to stand up and defend himself, even if it means he has to knock her out the way to do so. This is necessary whenever the black woman steps out of the protection of womanly behavior and enters the dangerous domain of masculine challenge. Regretfully, some black women want to be physically controlled. They may call each other up on the phone and proudly brag to each other about how my man beat my A blank blank, or beat the blank blank out of me, or kicked my blank blank. These confessions do not usually mean she was brutally attacked or injured bodily. They just mean that they got busted in something that other black women understand. A bust can be devastating too, but machoism is not new to her. Sometimes her sexual desires become perverted to the point that she derives a weird pleasure out of being hit because she likes the special attention she gets during making up. Some of them report that sex is extra good right after a good fight. The black man should not give in to her abnormal distortion of sexual stimulation connected to pain. Not unless they both agree that this is how they like it. And both parties go through these motions on a voluntary basis. The black woman does not know why certain kinds of pain and discord appeal to her. She doesn't know why she chooses misery over happiness. She gives no consideration to the roots of her ideas. She thinks that everything she thinks comes directly from deep inside her nature and that whatever she feels is a permanent part of her. She learned everything she knows from other people in the form of instruction or suggestion. The majority of her instructors did not have her well-being in mind. She must be encouraged to talk and study her own behavior, to trace her ideas to the place or point she took them on. She must learn to recognize the signs of backsliding. It takes a great deal of objectivity to study self, but she can be taught to do so. Everyone must be taught to do so if change is desired. The principles of how to think and use the brain must be studied so the brain of the black woman can be reactivated with new ideals of peace and love for the black man. Arguments and disagreements between the black man and the black woman must be settled in such a way as to deal with not just the catalyst issues that sparkled the anger, but why the particular incident invited such a frantic and hostile reaction from the woman. Sometimes seemingly harmless or lightweight events cause great eruption in the black woman's mood and cause her to go out of control. The inside, true issues, and reasons must be delved into to get to the root of her insecurity. Actually, to the black woman, certain behaviors in the black man are symbolic of things that caused her unbearable pain and disappointment in her childhood or teenage years. So when anything similar or reminiscent of these occurrences appear in her personal relationship, which she is already unsure of, she goes berserk. She feels vulnerable, threatened, powerless. Let me repeat that. She feels vulnerable, threatened, powerless, and scared. These are strong emotions when the black woman experiences them simultaneously. And on that note, I'm going to go ahead and end take number 3. And please stay tuned to Poem Praise 2 for take number 4 of chapter 17. We'll certainly finish up the chapter with that take. So I want you and your family to be blessed And until next time, later, y'all.